Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Jessica Clemons, and as we count down the days, the minutes, the seconds, the wait is almost over for Superman. James Gunn and DC Studios co-chief Peter Safran haven't shied away from interviews or just talking online when discussing the future of the DC Studios. Recently, we actually learned we'll be getting a Wonder Woman movie, not to be confused with the already planned Paradise Lost series about the Amazons of Themyscira, which is still in development. James Gunn has a general plan for DC Studios that includes releasing 2 live-action films, 1 animated film, 2 live-action series, and 2 animated series each year. And this ambitious slate means numerous characters have already been introduced, and many more are expected to appear as DC Studios moves forward. So in this video, I'll discuss every character mentioned, who they'll meet, and their future within the DCU according to Gunn's plans. But first, be sure to check out nerdriot.shop, where you can find the latest and greatest in New Rockstars merch. Right now, you can grab one of our Fantastic Four inspired designs featuring Herbie, or the Future Foundation shirt, love these two, or maybe show off the love for dinosaurs with the Jurassic World inspired merch. Picking up an item or 2 over there at nerdriot.shop is the best way to support the channel. Okay, let's get into this video. A phenomenal little interview dropped on Entertainment Weekly by Nick Romano, speaking with Superman director James Gunn, and stars Rachel Brosnan, Nicholas Hoult, David Corenswet, Maria Gabriela De Faria, Eddie Gathuggi, Isabella Merced, and Nathan Fillion. This article details so much about the individual characters, their relationships to one another, their motivations, and their future in the DC universe. Simultaneously, James Gunn is confirming, more so commenting, on speculated projects like a solo Wonder Woman movie and where our Justice League is. Not denying either, but reassuring everyone it's coming. The new Wonder Woman movie is being written right now, says James Gunn, and the project would be in addition to the HBO series titled Paradise Lost about Wonder Woman's home, Themyscira, which Gunn has confirmed is slow moving, but it's moving. As we prepare for the upcoming Superman, along with a confirmed Batman movie based on Grant Morrison's Batman and Son storyline, this is the first piece of news regarding a Wonder Woman movie in the new DC universe. If you're asking yourself, why is this a surprise? It's not unexpected that a new Wonder Woman is coming. The surprising part is that she wasn't really included in the initial wave of stories or characters announced by the DC Studios 2 years ago, especially considering she is 1/3 of the DC Trinity and one of the most iconic characters in DC Comics. We just expected her to be reported sooner, really. And their decision in December of 2022 to step away from a Patty Jenkins Wonder Woman 3 movie made it unclear whether Diana was coming or going. And Gunn confirmed Cavill's Superman and Ben Affleck's Batman are not part of this universe, but Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman is never mentioned, so assuredly, we're just a bit perplexed. We don't know if Gal Gadot will actually return as Wonder Woman. I assume she won't, because they're kind of taking away those roles from like the Justice League that was then the Snyder ones. 3 of the 6 original actors, they're recasting Superman and Batman and bringing Jason Momoa back to play Lobo in the new movie Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Regardless, Wonder Woman is among several projects currently in development at DC Studios, although only a few major projects have confirmed release dates. Superman's dropping July 11th, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is releasing June 2026, Clayface, a horror movie, releasing September 2026, The Lantern series in early 2026, and Peacemaker Season 2 dropping August 2025. While awaiting these dates, some are still in early stages of development, we're still anticipating Waller, Batman the Brave and the Bold, The Authority, Paradise Lost, Swamp Thing, a Booster Gold movie, a Sergeant Rock movie, a Blue Beetle series, Creature Commando Season 2, a Wonder Woman project, as well as a Teen Titans movie and a Bane and Deathstroke movie that may be under the Elseworlds. While all this seems daunting, Gunn reassures us in the article that he doesn't want to make the viewers feel like they need to do homework, saying you don't have to watch Superman to enjoy Supergirl. But he also notes the most important thing is the specific stories, but there is also a much bigger story that we're telling that will take a little bit longer to tell. That's sort of where my next couple things are going to be. Now, all this information is actually really great because it shows how much James Gunn does care about the DC universe as a whole, and more importantly, the DC universe as an actual shared universe where you can use the same characters, they're consistent, and it works within a singular story. But if it exists like Teen Titans Goes and Reeves' Joker, the Batman, and the Penguin, it's labeled as Elseworld, outside the DC universe's main storyline and continuity. However, these characters within the DC universe's main storyline have already been acknowledged in other places, and we're already seeing a sampling of the shared universe at play in Peacemaker Season 2's trailer with the Justice Gang and co, who will also appear in Superman this summer. HBO's Lanterns is already halfway through filming, which stars Aaron Pierre and Kyle Chandler as 2 other Earth-based Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, though Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner Green Lantern will also appear in Peacemaker Season 2 and Lanterns After Superman. The Engineer, Lex Luthor's trusted sidekick in Superman, who uses nanotechnology, is expected to return in The Authority. Eddie Gathuggi, who is playing Mr. Terrific in Superman, also confirmed in his Entertainment Weekly interview that Superman won't be the only project he'll be in. He doesn't expand on that, but we see how far James Gunn and Peter Safran go to include all their characters in the DC Universe puzzle. Thank you BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. It is rare for any adult to be doing exactly what they thought they'd be doing when they were younger. That's why you see so few rock stars who are also astronauts. Having a gap between expectation and reality is a normal part of being a person, but that doesn't make navigating that gap any easier. If you're feeling like you could use some help, consider using BetterHelp. A good therapist helps you see that you're not behind in life, you're simply on your own unique timeline. They help you recognize that your identity isn't fixed by some arbitrary deadline, but constantly evolving as you grow. This perspective shift alone can be just so beneficial. BetterHelp makes starting therapy easy. Just head to betterhelp.com/newrockstars, fill out a questionnaire, and you'll be matched with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform you can trust. Click the link in the description, scan the QR code, or go to betterhelp.com/newrockstars and get 10% off your first month of therapy. And Crypto, our baby, our sweet little boy, was also confirmed to appear in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. And Hot Girl's actress Isabella Merced alludes to her future appearances in the DC universe, saying, "You don't get to really know her that well, and I think that's good. James isn't showing all his cards, he's saving a lot of that." And we do know that she will also appear with Guy Gardner in Peacemaker Season 2. Creature Commandos is famously canon to the DC universe, and I say famously because they feature a lot of characters and locations that will appear later in the DC universe. Superman definitely will catapult the DCU, but Creature Commandos, in my opinion, was the catalyst for Superman to follow. Amanda Waller, Rick Flag Sr., The Bride, Weasel, G.I. Robot, Nina Mazursky, Dr. Phosphorus, and Erik Frankenstein were several nods to the broader live-action universe of DC characters as it currently exists in Gunn's mind. Even though Creature Commandos is animated, the reason Gunn used voice actors like Viola Davis and Frank Grillo and Alan Tudyk and Steve Agee is that he intends to use these actors to play live-action forms of these characters as well. Creature Commandos also featured a version of Clayface and a quick glimpse of Batman in Gotham City, though James Gunn has clarified that they worked purposefully and didn't commit to too much in that episode.
When they first gave it to me, we saw a lot more Batman, and I was saying, I am not ready to commit to that. I'm not ready to commit to that. I'm not ready to commit to that. So I just like more silhouette, more silhouette, more silhouette.
And we'll get more to Batman in a minute. In episode 3 of Creature Commandos, we get an important moment where we see future visions from Cersei that showed a world dominated by Princess Olenna Rostovix and Gorilla Grodd, and a ton of defeated superheroes, including Superman, Batman, Robin, Wonder Woman, Booster Gold, Peacemaker, Vigilante, Starfire, Green Lantern, Supergirl, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Blue Beetle, Judo Master, and Metamorpho. All, if not most of these characters, are already established or scheduled in a DC project or in development, so that's kind of crazy. Even that Superman is dressed like our Superman, and that's Guy Gardner's Green Lantern. Erik has theorized that the images that we've seen from Superman, where there's a battle in the background with pink and purple magic, could be Cersei, as it resembles her magic from Creature Commandos. So these people, for the most part, are canon, and we first saw them in Creature Commandos. This also highlights the fact that the Justice League is present, and after the end of Peacemaker Season 1, they appear to help save the day. So the Justice League is canon to the new DC universe, right? Well, no, because James Gunn has confirmed that Peacemaker is mostly canon, everything but the end with the Justice League cameo. However, when asked about the Justice League being part of the bigger DC storyline in the Entertainment Weekly article, James Gunn said, of course, but there is no Justice League in this world. Not yet. Not yet. Emphasize, not yet. As mentioned, the Batman of this universe shows up again in Creature Commandos in episode 6, the Dr. Phosphorus episode. James Gunn confirmed to Rotten Tomatoes TV that this is the DCU Batman, and he intentionally left him in the shadow.
Batman does exist. He already exists in this universe. He's an important part of this universe, and he has an impact on it. This is the DCU Batman.
Gods and Monsters phase of the DC slate in January 2023, he said that the Batman film for the DCU would be The Brave and the Bold, which would introduce the Bat family. Creature Commandos also referred to Themyscira a few times. Amanda Waller and Rick Flag Sr. described it as a place where no outsider had set foot, and the sorceress Cersei came from Themyscira but was exiled after predicting a tsunami that would hit that island. This could be a small storyline that is explored in Themyscira, the HBO series. We saw Sergeant Rock in the flashback to WW2 and the G.I. Robot episode of Creature Commandos, and Sergeant Rock was going to begin production this summer, but an April deadline reported that the production won't begin until summer of 2026. Clayface also appeared in Creature Commandos, voiced by Alan Tudyk, and appeared to die, but James Gunn later clarified on Blue Sky that Clayface was still alive. And Gunn has also said that Alan Tudyk wouldn't be the live-action Clayface in the DCU because that wasn't his primary role. Tudyk voices Dr. Phosphorus, so that's more likely to be his live-action counterpart. As of now, the Clayface movie is releasing in September 2026, with James Watkins hired to direct the film and Hossein Amini writing the script. As an added note, Creature Commando Season 1 also occurs only months before Superman. This all happens before Superman. Superman. We're also expecting Creature Commando Season 2 with the Task Force M lineup at the end of Season 1, consisting of the Bride, Dr. P, Weasel, a rebuilt GI robot, Nosferatu, and Callus, and King Shark returning from the Suicide Squad. Amanda Waller, who we've seen in both Creature Commandos and Peacemaker, will also appear in her own series. And for Teen Titans, Creature Commandos already included a look at Starfire. I mean, yeah, she's dead in the Vision, but nonetheless, they established she's already there in that universe. And we're already getting a new Batman inspired by Batman with his son Damian Wayne, which could usher in a Robin for Teen Titans. I'm not saying it will be that specific Wayne Robin for Teen Titans, I'm just saying we can talk about it, seeing as they're gonna make a Teen Titans movie. The Batman Part 2, an Elseworlds film, is being shot in 2025 and coming October 1st, 2027. Matt Reeves intends on this being a trilogy, and there was a huge Court of Owls Easter egg in the final episode of The Penguin, and there have been some hints that Mr. Freeze could be the villain. Swamp Thing, Bane, and Deathstroke I don't believe have appeared yet in the DCU, nor have they been expected to appear in other projects, but they are expected to be interconnected in the new DCU storyline. And those were a lot of characters, those were a lot of shows, and that's a lot of crossovers because this is a shared universe, and James Gunn wants to treat this like a shared universe. There's a ton of things I'm sure James Gunn is keeping really close to his chest, which is rightfully so. I want some surprises. And I'm not mad at how many characters are going to be featured in Superman because I know that these stories would stretch across the DC universe and unfold with time. And we should be happy that these movies will not require us to do homework. We should enjoy one without having to watch the other because, you know, we can't watch everything unless you're new Rockstars. Comment down below your thoughts, and a special thanks to one of our YouTube members, Marisa Miranda, who supports us at the executive producer level. Follow me at Lulu_Clemons. Subscribe to all 4 channels in the new Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.